Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I was thinking about uh, these developments that are going on in Ferguson, Missouri. Um, I've got people that work with me with Your Black World who are on the ground there, who are constantly giving me updates on what's going on. And my thought about Ferguson is that I think that this unfortunate killing of Michael Brown is something that is so symptomatic of a broader problem that exists in our society. We know that too many young black men are getting killed by police. We know that there are too many cases of police disrespecting citizens. We know that there are too many cases of police committing egregious misconduct. And that doesn't even go into the militarization, the sheer terror that police impose upon communities, stop and frisk, racial profiling, all of that, and how that falls on top of black men. And that's one of the reasons why I joined with Dr. Cornell West and Carl Dix and Michelle Alexander for the October month of resistance against police terror. And the website is stopmassincarceration.net. So if you really want to push for longer term systemic solutions to this problem, I hope that you'll go and become a part of their movement. Because I really think that this is something that we have to believe in for the long term, not just while it's trendy, while it's cool. Because right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are doing the hands up, don't shoot thing because it's kind of the fad now. And I think that's good. I mean, I think that, it's anything that really supports the movement is positive, but I want it to be sustained. I don't want it to just be a fly by night kind of thing. Now, if you want to go deeper into the Michael Brown thing, just to be completely truthful, if you're looking for somebody to tell you lies, you need to go talk to somebody else. If you want somebody to tell you what you want to hear, you don't need to talk to me. I'm not looking for fans. I'm not looking for anybody to agree with me. I'm here to just share information, express free ideas, allow you to share your ideas, and for us to engage in free thought to try to understand all of this. Now, if you follow anything I've said on Facebook, you'll see that I've been seeing all this information that's coming from me, mostly from Michael Brown supporters. Most of the people, 99% of the people I've talked to, have supported Michael Brown and his right to justice. What's been interesting is that I'm learning that his right to justice does not necessarily mean the right to our version of the truth being found in the court of law or the officer necessarily going to prison. To me, justice means that the police in Ferguson become more transparent in their investigation. They have done a horrible job of handling this whole situation. They made it worse because they refused to interview key witnesses. They wouldn't even share any information with the community about what was going on. When you look at this police department, you see this horrible lack of diversity and all this other stuff. But my position has been that I don't want this broader movement against police terror, against mass incarceration, against racial profiling. I don't want this to come down to one person and what that one person did in one situation in one small town. Understand, Ferguson, Missouri has 20,000 people. I mean, that's like a 10-block radius in the city of Chicago. Chicago is Ferguson times 20. So to me, what happens in Ferguson is not as important as what happens more broadly across the country. Now, if cleaning up Ferguson is a template for the cleaning up of communities all across the country, then God bless it. I'm all for it. But if we think somehow that not rioting, some people riot. I don't approve of that. You know that. If fighting on behalf of one person in one situation, if we think that that's going to help all the other thousands of other Michael Browns that exist throughout America, all the other black men who've been shot since Michael got shot, but they're not getting any media coverage because everybody's talking about Ferguson, we need to really reprioritize. I mean, the fact is that we have to protest with a purpose, and the broader purpose should be something that is more systemic, that's more sustainable, that's more long term, that's broader, that's going to affect more people. And that's what I'm really advocating for. So if you want to hear me, when I go on CNN, I've been on CNN so far the last 4 or 5 days in a row. I'll be on for the rest of the week. Every now and then I'll engage in the minutia of what the officer did versus what Brown did and what one eyewitness said versus another. And I'll talk about that. But the truth is, that's not really my top priority right now. My top priority is to say, what does this mean for the country? I see Michael Brown and that incident as a symptom of a bigger issue. The symptom to me is that you have police departments across the country that don't respect people that don't respect their citizens. You look at the police response with all this military equipment. You mean to tell me that you can learn how to use these tanks and assault weapons that the Pentagon gave you, but you can't use the damn dash cams that you were also sent that you refused to install? You mean to tell me that you can learn how to do all this surveillance with drones and all these other things that are designed to violate people's rights, but you can't just install a little camera on your officers so that you can observe how they interact with the citizens? That's a problem. And in fact, there was a county in California where they installed a little camera on the officers' uniforms, and their police brutality complaints dropped by 80%, 75%. So the solutions are very simple. The problem is that people don't want to implement the solutions, because ultimately accountability is a lack of power. It takes away a person's power. It is an assault on your right to do what the hell you want to do without anybody holding you responsible for what you did. That's why every time, even when we talk about when I push black men for accountability, I get pushed back from other brothers like, oh, well, why are you hating on black men? No, I'm just saying you need to be accountable. When I talk to black women about accountability for things that happen in their lives, I get pushback. Well, why do you hate black women? No, I'm not. I don't hate black women. I believe people should be accountable. But notice the trend. Whenever you push for accountability, whether it's from an individual, from an institution, from a community, from a gender, racial group, you're always going to get pushback, because accountability is a loss of power. But my argument is that with additional power should come more accountability, should come more responsibility. And since the police have so much power, since they get so much of the benefit of the doubt from the state, there must be extreme accountability for their behavior. And then that way we can strike the appropriate balance. To me, the appropriate balance means that we have to at least take that time to consider the fact that we want police to serve and protect everybody. We want police out there who want to do their jobs, who want to feel safe on their job, who don't have to feel that their life is in jeopardy all the time because they're worried about getting in trouble for doing the wrong thing in the wrong situation. But at the same time, we have to make sure that they understand the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. And I think that that's where a lot of this police brutality comes from, is that you have a lot of officers that don't know the difference. Remember, they can go from one situation where they're dealing with a murderous drug addict who's trying to make sure they don't get to come home to their family that night, and then they have to go save a cat from a tree, which requires a whole different transition in your personality, your disposition. You have to go from being military minded to being community and helpful minded. And I don't know about you, but that's hard for a lot of people to do. That's why I never chose to be a cop, because that's a difficult job. So I just say that at the end of the day, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Let's just stop. I don't buy into the bullshit on either side. I don't believe. I'm not trying to get all riled up and to the point where I'm not going to listen to any evidence or any facts. You should never get to the point where you are so caught up in your predisposition that facts and evidence get in the way of your agenda. When you get to that point, then you got a problem. But at the same time, I'm not a person who's going to allow us to talk away racism and pretend like it doesn't exist. We know it's real. I've been a black man my whole life, and it's tough. I mean, I've been marginalized in so many ways. I don't even want to go into that right now, and it's very hurtful to even talk about it. And so, believe me, when it comes to racism, I think all of us feel it. Here I am. I have a PhD, and I made a lot of money, and I've done all these things that I guess are pretty good. And racism has hurt me. I mean, it has really hurt, and to this day. I mean, even when I think about my last job, when I was working at Syracuse University and the stuff I went through, I remember just thinking, why am I being treated this way? I mean, I'm trying to be a good person, and I've got these people that are treating me like I'm a criminal. So everybody feels this, and racism is real. We know it's real, and we got to fight on racism. And but I say that we keep our focus on the big picture, on the big issue. The big issue. Mike Brown is part of the picture. Mike Brown's situation is a symptom of a bigger problem. But at the end of the day, let's focus on the problem. Let's not get caught up in vouching for what we believe did or did not happen in that particular situation. We have to wait for all the evidence to come out. But unfortunately, the Ferguson Police Department is not being forthcoming with the evidence, which right there is another sign of guilt. So if you want to know my take on Ferguson, Mike Brown, all of that, that's where I stand right now. Again, you like it, great. If you don't, go great. If you hate my guts and don't want to talk to me anymore, then I understand. I mean, it happens all the time. I'm not in this game looking for friends. I'm just here to tell the truth. So I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Please take care. God bless and have a wonderful day. I'm gone. Peace.